Hi, welcome to the Westport Library's virtual artist series called Artists in Residences. My name is Carol Erger-Fass, and I'm the exhibit curator at the library. Today, Miggs Burrows talks with Susan Fehlinger. Like many of us who grew up around here or moved here later, Susan has always been drawn to the coastline. In fact, after a 30-year career in New York City as a TV producer, she packed it all up and moved to Cape Cod, where she ran a bed and breakfast. In moving back to Fairfield County, the coastal marshes and the seascapes continue to influence her work. Her thickly textured paintings play with color and light, and they create a familiar yet abstract scene. Susan's also an active member of the Artist Collective of Westport, where she has exhibited her work widely around the area, and also has the distinction of being the very last solo show in the old Great Hall at the library before the renovation in 2018. So now let's join Susan in her studio, where she can tell us more about her work and also what she's been up to during this crazy time.
Thanks, Carol. And hi, Susan.
Hi, thank you.
I think, okay, there you are. Yeah, it's great having been in your real studio. It's such a warm, cozy place to be. And it's sort of, I think that comes across with all your artwork there. It looks like a gallery. And is this, as Carol mentioned, with what's going on, and the virus and everything, do you find yourself, everyone asks me that, so I'm just going to ask you, because you find yourself being more productive or more thoughtful about what you're going to do, or has it changed your approach to painting?
Well, I thought I would be more productive, but it seems I'm not. I kind of always go in fits and starts, I'll paint a lot and then I'll just have a week where I do nothing. And I'm having more of those do nothing weeks right now, but I'm hoping to get back. I'm working on a piece now that I started yesterday. So I sort of got the juices going again.
No, that's great. And you have the distinction, first of all, being such a versatile artist, accomplished artist, and it's sort of a second career, but you also, and we'll get into it maybe a little later, but you paint with a palette knife and you achieve so many great effects and textures and whatnot with this palette knife, which will be more apparent when we get a close-up look. But you mentioned, and I know this anyway, that your hero is Edward Hopper, and a lot of your, I would say, to me, your compositions, some of them, reflect that kind of thoughtful stillness or whatever, but yours have more life to them. I don't know, what is it about Edward Hopper that appealed to you?
Well, he is my hero, it's true. I think it's the way he sees the light and the way the high contrast that he uses. His paintings are very strong. They're often very solitary, which mine are too for some reason. But I also feel, he lived in New York and Cape Cod, as I did. And he was drawn to both. He did a lot of cityscapes, as well as his work when he lived down in Truro. And I also love that combination of the really vibrant, dense cityscapes and then the sparseness of the coastal work. I like the contrast. So,
yeah. And what's the big, it's maybe an obvious, the big draw, Cape Cod. So many people go there. It's so picturesque, of course, but there's coastlines, there's lots of coastlines everywhere. What do you think Cape Cod?
I don't know. They say it's the light.
The light?
It sounds so corny, but yeah. I think, especially all the way out in Provincetown, where it's absolutely surrounded by water and it's reflecting everywhere, I think it creates sort of a glow, and the light just seems more intense there. So the lights are lighter and the darks are darker, and it's. I think a lot of artists have been drawn to that for many, many years.
And you paint what they call plein air? I mean, you're standing there painting, you're not taking a picture and doing it at home, right?
Well, I do both. I do a lot of plein air in the summer. And that's always challenging because you're always chasing the light.
Oh yeah.
And you're ducking the wind and whatever else is flying around. I've been in some pretty hairy situations. But lots of times I'll take a picture when the light is just how I love it and bring that back to my studio and finish it in my studio.
Yeah, I was going to wonder, like you might see a beautiful shadowy, beautiful shadows cast by a boat or a barn or something. Yeah, right. And then 20 minutes later, it's gone.
It's gone. So the trick when you're doing plein air is not to chase the light, because you'll keep changing your painting, and you have to kind of freeze time in a way. I did one painting. I actually have a print of it here. I'll show you.
Yeah, please.
It was on Nantucket, and I was driving by. This is a hopper image, and I saw the shadow. Can you see it, or I'm too close?
Yeah. No, that's good. Perfect. Yep.
And that shadow on the building.
Yeah.
It was just like the perfect moment. And I was with my brother-in-law. I said, "Stop the car!" And I took a picture and painted it from the picture. But that is like how fleeting it is, because I know 10 minutes later that shadow wasn't there. So the trick is to freeze it when you love it.
Right. Yeah. I guess it's with like figure painting maybe too, because the model could move or.
Yeah.
So yeah, you want to. I don't know. Did you want to do either hold up another painting? We have your website too, if you ever want to refer, have me jump to that to show any particular pieces. But I think you said there's something in progress. Did you want to show that, or is that too soon for that?
This painting that I started yesterday, which is, can you see it?
Yeah, you just started it yesterday? Oh, okay.
Yes, I paint very fast.
Yeah, okay.
I paint fast. It's from a photograph that I took in Maine last summer when we went down to buy some lobsters, and this was the little shack that was there, and I loved it. But what I wanted to say about this one is, what I did here, which I often do, is paint over another painting. And lots of times some of the old painting comes through. And in this case, I painted over one that's on my website called City Reflections.
Okay.
So
is it similar at all? Should I go there and look at it?
You could look at it.
What category is it under?
It's under Cityscapes. It's called City Reflections. Let's see if I can help you.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to go. You'll see it when I go there. So under Cityscapes, is that what you said?
Yes.
Okay.
Now, okay, so it's on the right, in the middle there with those buildings.
Oh,
that one.
Okay, this one?
Yeah.
So that's what it was. Okay.
That's what's underneath what I'm working on right now.
Okay. And you just weren't happy with it? I'm always curious. To me, that when I used to paint, everything I did, not that I thought it was great, it was just I was so invested in it for all the hours I put in. I couldn't paint over it, even if it was terrible.
I don't know. I guess I'm not a saver, for one thing, and I really believe, and I've lived my whole life where when I'm done with something, I'm done and I move on. And that when I moved back here, I got rid of a lot of things. I moved into this much smaller place and just kept what I love. And my paintings, I always loved the last thing I did the best, but then after a while, I kind of get bored with them, and especially if they're hanging around and they haven't sold, and I just say, "Oh well, let's move on." And so I saved some elements of that one.
Like what?
I mean, some of the sky is here, and some of this down here will come through some of those buildings, and the white. I had used a lot of metallic paint on that piece, and I might go back and add some of that in here too. So it's really a work in progress. As I said, I started it yesterday, but it's kind of fun going over the old work, and nobody ever knows what's under the painting that they have.
Yeah, that's true. They get until 100 years from now that somebody X-rays it, and then the person realizes they got a bonus.
Somehow, I don't think they're so important that they'll be X-rayed. As you said, I use the knife for everything. And I have one knife that's sort of my favorite knife that I've done most of my work with, which is this one.
Right. Okay.
Kind of like a 3.5 inch knife. But lately I've been using this big one.
Whoa.
And this is really fun for pushing a lot of paint around.
That's after you're done spackling your walls, right? You just
It's a lot like that.
yeah.
And in order to expand my paint, because you use so much with this, I've been using this cold wax mixed in with my paint, so it kind of puffs it up and goes a little longer. I use mediums a lot.
Okay,
But
and
as I
mediums
said,
for
so
people
I
that.
have
Yeah.
this big one, and this is the smallest.
Oh, okay.
But mostly I use this this well-adjusted middle child.
So for people who don't know, what do mediums do, and why would you use them?
Oh, well, they're any kind of solvents or mediums are used to either thin the paint or make it thicker or make it. I use a lot of this gel. This is a gel that comes in a tube,
Mm-hmm.
and it kind of extends the paint a little longer, and it makes it more transparent. So I use that a lot when I'm doing skies and I want like a very light, transparent feel to the paint. Or if I'm doing water, I do a lot of skies and water. So
Well, that's what's so amazing to me is that, all the different texture, the soft, gauzy clouds, and then barn siding and water. I mean, it's all done with the knife. I don't know. Can you demo? I don't want to put you on the spot, but can you show how that works?
Well, yes, as a matter of fact. I have a painting that I did in one of my classes as a demo.
Mm-hmm.
Of some rocks.
Oh yeah, okay.
And back to so these were some rocks that I saw when I went to England last year to a painting workshop in St. Ives, which was fabulous. And I had done, when I was there, I did these little studies of the rocks. The coast there is just beautiful. So this is sort of an adaptation of these. And I thought I would just paint a little bit on the rocks and the sky so that you can see the versatility of the knife, which is something that I love. Some people only think of it as a very hard-edged, it's great for architecture and structures and straight lines, but you can also do some very wispy kind of clouds. And what I usually do is mix some of that medium I just showed you, that gel, in with my white, maybe a little bit of blue, so that it's more transparent. So if I wanted to extend this cloud, I could just, I don't know, can you see it?
Yeah, I can see it. I mean,
you see how fast it goes on? It's like, that's why I paint so fast, because the knife just covers so much.
And that's just white paint. You're just kind of artfully smearing along.
Smearing.
Artfully smearing.
Artfully, always.
Yeah.
So you could use it with a light touch like that, or if I was doing like, if I wanted to work on the rocks down here, can you see that?
To get like a hard edge.
Yeah, I would probably not use the medium. I'd use the paint a little thicker. This is some dark brown. And you can just do a very quick little flick, and you'll get like a really whole different look to it. I'm taken to using rags with all this paper shortage going on.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, you can't. Paper towels are like gold.
Can't get it. So I ripped up a sheet the other day.
No.
And I actually like using rags instead of paper towels.
Well, if you ever need, I have tons of old T-shirts from running from races. So
perfect. Save it for me. So here's a lighter piece.
Oh, cool. Wow. But you got to know, well, it's all in the.
It's all in the.
Know what you're doing. It's all knowing what you're doing.
Anyway,
And you don't need a reference. I mean, you're not looking at a photograph, obviously, now, but you just know.
No, I'm kind of making these up as I go.
But right. But you had a sketch too. You always do.
I do a very loose sketch usually with charcoal, just to kind of get my composition, like where you want the masses to be. I don't do any detailed drawing, but just try to plan out the canvas a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
So that's fun. I love doing rocks. I love doing skies. I love doing buildings.
And you've done, I don't see any in the background. Oh, well, a little bit, the fruit. Yeah, you've done incredible, bold fruit, just mouth-watering, kind of just vibrant fruit baskets, right? Or not baskets, but fruit arrangements.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to show you in the kitchen.
Oh, good. Okay. Now? Yeah, you could do that now. Sure.
Okay. So I'm going into the kitchen.
Okay.
And
that's where
you can use or not use this part.
Yeah. No.
So
nice.
Here are my apples. I wanted to show these in person because so you can see the scale of them. When you see them on a little screen, you don't realize that they're like 30 by 30. And 30 by 40. And they're
especially when you back up and because when you're closer to the camera, they look smaller. But when you're next to them like that, you can see the size of that. Yeah.
They're huge.
They are. They're huge. Could you, I mean, this is just an experiment. Could you take it off and like put it really close to your iPhone? See if we can get a sense of the close up of the paint, the texture. Yeah. Oh, great. Nice. Okay. That's fine. Yep. Let's just
and then I have my lemons here. This is 30 by 40.
Wow.
And my grapes, which were the first one that I did.
Now I'm guessing that would take longer because each grape is a little thing in itself, right? A little portrait.
This took a while because when you think about trying to do all these little orbs with a knife, it's like a wrist breaker. Trying to get highlights and darks and lights and different kinds of grapes. And what happened was when I finished it, I might have told you this before, when I finished it, I had made my circles like almost too perfectly and it didn't look very interesting. It was too almost like an illustration.
Yeah.
So I took my knife and I just scraped it down. And it wound up looking a little bit like it was dripping. Like it was wet.
I see sort of streaky. Yeah, that's kind of, and so that was just sort of a happy accident, or you were trying to achieve?
That was a happy accident. I could have totally ruined it.
Yeah.
You have to be very, very brave when you use a knife.
Yeah. No, but you made it's an interesting point about being too perfect, and some artists try to be precise and it kind of sometimes takes the life out of it because sure isn't like that,
I agree. And also that's another reason why I love painting with a palette knife, because things happen that you really can't plan. They're really accidents. And you kind of have to know just to leave it and not try to make it perfect. Yeah. Because that's what gives it a little more soul. And here are my big...
Love the peppers. Yeah, wow.
Bam.
Yeah. Well, that's another one. So there's like 5, 9, 10, 19, 4, 15, 20 peppers. That's, and it's like 20 portraits. I mean, it's like 20.
I took a photo at Whole Foods produce department.
Oh, yeah.
You know how they fix everything so perfectly?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, these were the orange bell peppers. And then I have a couple more on my website. I like the cherries, but they're up in a gallery in Cape Cod right now.
Oh, but it's on the website?
It's on the website, and the strawberry cherries. And
here, let me just flash there quickly, and maybe we can take a look at the... Okay, oh, here we go. Okay, so we'll start with the cherries. Can you see them?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. And there's apples, and the reflections are great. What are they sitting on?
Sitting in water.
Oh, they're on water. Okay. It did look kind of liquidy, and I didn't know
like
if
a little shallow water.
nice. The strawberries. Yeah, the little I love seeing the paint too. I like it when you can see, I mean, I know this photorealists that do an amazing job, but I love when you can see the paint because it's like
Yeah,
two,
it's a painting and not a
yeah, and it's like
photograph.
two experiences. Oh, here's a close up of the grapes. Oh, so the question is that most artists, I guess, get asked is, how do you know when you're finished? How do you stop yourself from overworking it?
Ooh, that's a really tough thing. I think most artists have a problem with that. I've often gone too far, but I do that with everything in my life. So I think it's tough. Sometimes it takes another person to tell you to stop.
Do you do that thing? My father used to tell, he was an illustrator, but, and when I started doing anything, I mean, he would say, whoops, let me get out of here. Oh, okay, we're back. He would say, we'd say this about writing a letter to somebody too, but he'd say, do, and then put it away. If you're drawing something, wake up in the morning fresh and look at it fresh in the morning.
Yes, I think that's very good advice because, yeah, everything looks different the next day, it seems, doesn't it?
Yeah. Of course, then you wonder if every morning it's going to look different. It's just an artist's problem of you wake up in the morning and it's like, oh my God, it doesn't look like what I thought it did. And because you get in a certain mood. I don't know. The other thing is, do you listen to music? Does that help? Do you like to, some people love, they're going to put on opera or.
I do like to listen to music. I like to I listen to a lot of Buddha Bar. Do you know what that is?
Oh yeah, the Buddha Bar,
like
yeah.
the old, like from the old disco in Paris.
Yes.
And it's a lot of world kind of music. They have a lot of Indian influence and African
That's
and
true. It's like
salsa
yoga
and Latino, and it's all mixed up, and you don't recognize anything. It's just sounds.
Yeah.
And it really puts me right in the zone because it's nothing that I recognize, but it's all about how the mood of it.
Yeah, no, yeah, it's very serene. And so will you have shows coming up? Well, you had a lot of shows. I mean, maybe we shouldn't go over this. It's too sad, but
it is too sad.
When this broke out, you were on the brink, you were on the eve of a very big one-person show. Where was that?
Oh, yes.
Black Rock.
Taste of Black Rock.
Yeah.
The Taste of Black Rock. It's an annual fundraiser for the Burroughs Community Center. And all the restaurants in the area have, booths, and they donate food, and it's a big money raiser. And I was going to be the featured artist. I had 22 pieces ready to go, and it was canceled. So everything. I had 6 shows canceled.
6 shows. Oh.
The Westport Women's Club, our pop-up at the Westport Artist Collective, and then a couple of others. Oh, well.
Yeah.
And also, my classes were all canceled.
Are you doing, first of all, we should tell you, your website is susanfehlinger.com, Fehlinger, susanfehlinger.com. And if somebody's interested, watching this, do you do Zoom classes for either privately or?
Yeah, I'm starting to do them at the Rowayton Art Center in the spring, and I'm doing one for the Nantucket Art Association, and let's see, I don't know what else. I'm doing a paint and sip coming up, but that's going to be next week. So by the time this gets out,
and how would they find out? Is that with Rowayton, or where would they find? How would people find out?
That's a Rowayton Art Center.
Okay. Well, this is great. If there's anything we left out you want to show us, we've got another couple minutes or two.
I wanted to show you a couple of pieces I've done recently here in Bridgeport.
Okay. Yep.
Because I'm fascinated by as you know, I love architecture.
Yeah.
I can't see myself at all now. Is that?
Yeah, raise it up. That's good. Perfect. Yeah.
So this is downtown Bridgeport. And I just liked moving in real close and getting kind of a graphic look to it. And then I did another one I walk around my neighborhood every day, and this is near where I live. Somebody painted their house way too green. I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah, yeah,
It's called Bridgeport Green.
yeah.
And then there was another house that was painted orange that I painted, which I thought they had took a lot of guts to paint their house this color.
Yeah, it's like Bermuda or something.
I know.
It's not Bridgeporty that I
I
would.
like our color here in Black Rock.
Yeah.
What else? I don't know. I think I wanted to show, maybe you can cut into it at some point,
Yeah.
this piece back here, which is called A Delicate Balance. It's a house on Nantucket that was right on the edge of the ocean that has now been taken
Wow.
by the.
Is that on the website by any chance?
Yes.
Okay.
Called
Well, yeah, we can put it in later, but I'm gonna give it back to Carol to wrap it up and
Okay.
say goodbye. And thank you so much, Susan. This is
Oh, thank you,
a
Biggs.
wonderful opportunity. And we'll.
Yeah, that was awesome. And I wrote it down because I didn't want to forget. I learned a new technical term in this talk today, artful schmearing. I really love that.
Yes.
Makes me want to see what you do with a bagel.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
No, maybe we could have like a class at like Gold or something to do.
Yeah, yeah.
Schmear.
You could, that's right. You could have a Zoom class on cream cheese smearing. Yeah.
Very, yes.
Anyway, this was delightful. Thank you very much. And just to close up, you know, to learn about all of the library's online offerings or anything about the physical library, westportlibrary.org. And thanks, and hope to see you at the library soon.